Welcome back to the Sol, a history campaign for the Freespace Port and Inferno here on Paladin Gaming. Welcome back to the Sol, a history campaign for the Freespace Port and Inferno here on Paladin Gaming. We're here at the outro to the Sol 2357 arc of the campaign. Following the final defeat of the Martians in the asteroid belt, the Sol system embarked on an era of relative peace and prosperity. Despite an apparent truce with the Jovians, however, the imminent threat of rebel terrorism and the like continued to be the excuse of the EA government for not holding any elections, plus for various atrocities committed over the years in the name of national interests. According to the government, the apparent surcease in the fighting was merely a devilish trick by the rebels to lull the people into false security before launching a massive attack against the EA. They were excuse me. They were correct, albeit indirectly. Shortly after the takeover of the Inner Planets by the EA, a number of ex-rebel government associates, petty criminals, and in general enemies of the EA fled their homes to eke out an existence in the asteroid belt. Their reason for flight, merciless squads of black-shirted government executioners sent to remove opponents to the new regime before they could act against the EA. Their new life was a tough one, subsisting on stolen supplies from the freighter convoys taking food to the outposts along the outer edge of the belt. They would become very important in a few decades. Another important change was that of GTI. While the majority of GTI remained on the other side of the Delta Serpentis Sol node at the mercy of the Shivans, the small enclave of intelligence officers that remained on Sol were given a makeover. The new EAI was granted powers over the EA military and civil service in exchange for being completely under the thumb of EA High Command. This was the opposite of the old exchange for being completely of the old arrangement where GTI had little influence over the GTA but remained largely independent. They, unlike the pirates, would play an important role in the One-Day War. The One-Day War began when, in 2357, Pluto suddenly started attacking UNU forces. The exact reason why is unknown, although several theories have been put forward. From an attempt at guerrilla warfare against the UNU to terrorist strikes designed to frighten the UNU into acceding to IPP wishes. Regardless, a number of innocent civilians and the great peacemaker Sir Debriefing Tereus were murdered by IPP hit squads. Neptune retaliated, sending a strike force to destroy the Plutonian Navy. However, somehow the two wings of fighters and the single cruiser the IPP possessed managed to see off the Neptunians. Meanwhile, in the asteroid belt, two wings of overzealous EA and Jovian pilots had met on the EA-Jupiter border. A heated exchange of banter quickly turned into a skirmish and then to a full state of war. The Jovian destroyer, the Majesty, was mobilized to the belt. In response, the EA sent its own destroyer, the flagship Tereus. In a fierce battle in which the destroyers stood like gods as cruisers fought in the midst of the asteroid belt, the two fleets clashed. At the same time, the UNU decided to show off a new weapon they had been developing. The UND Tempest, equipped with brand new beam cannons, opened fire on the Plutonian fleet such as it was, vaporizing them in a show of strength easily visible from the asteroid belt. The two fleets immediately disengaged and returned to base in order to respond to the new threat. Almost immediately, EA forces began assaults on Jovian outposts, and the Jovians sent their fleet to parry the new attack. Meanwhile, an EAI strike team was assembled and dispatched to the science colony in orbit around Neptune. The UNU had been expecting the other powers to come begging at its door for the usage of beam cannon technology, and so was very surprised when EAI and Saturnian forces actually attacked the UNU science colony. Despite the deployment of the Tempest, the EAI strike team managed to get away with one of the science colony vessels, the GTSC Boar. The EAI's success in stealing away the beam technology was tempered by the fact that not only did the UNU retain this technological advantage, but it also had decided to share it with the other rebel powers in the hopes of building a united anti-EA rebel front. This would lay the foundations for the 2372 war. An important thing to note is that beam weapons are an integral part of the Nemesis and the Timuros. Indeed, the Timuros installation shares many technical similarities to the Lindos destroyer, which is fundamentally centered around beam weapon technology. Yet the construction dates for these super weapons go back to before 2357, before these weapons were available. The most logical explanation for it would be that for the first half of the 2340-2372 Cold War, the EA and the rebel powers participated in an arms race to be the first to develop the Lucifer's beam cannons for Terran use. This would explain the Timuros problem, the defense platform being initially designed around the efforts of the Sol science team to crack the Lucifer's superweapons. It also gives credence to the conspiracy theory that the Pluto-Neptune war was aided along or even set up by EAI in the hopes of getting the UNU to show its hand and reveal its otherwise inaccessible beam weaponry. And if that is true, then it is possible some of the other rumors about EAI are true as well. This historian, however, refuses to comment just yet. Excerpt from T.P. Anderson's The Sol System, 2335 to 2372. Alright, let's continue. Test fire.
Today, Command has decided to test the new beam cannons we acquired from the Neptunians. As elite pilots for the EAI, you have been given the privilege of observing the testing in an area close to Mercury. You may stay and watch or leave early. It is up to you, pilot.
Alright, primary objectives, observe test.
We're all set down here, Tereus. Logging out. Understood. Prepping main beam cannon now. Begin the test immediately. Very well, Command. Tactical. Target test 1. Open fire.
Initial energy patterns okay. Holding steady. Test 1 has been destroyed.
So, I hear you're fully fledged EAI pilots now. Alpha?
Haha, yeah. Badges came through this morning.
Well, good on you. Don't get your hopes up, though. Aside from the odd mission or two, we spend our time discarding EI stuff to secret for the grunts to patrol.
Hay beats patrolling the asteroid belt. What I don't get, though, is if the Commissar knows the Jovians are helping the pirates, then why hasn't he told anyone? Why not stop them doing it?
Schleck's a crafty old bastard. He has his reasons, ones which we won't find out for ages yet. After all, he certainly isn't going to tell us, is he?
Yeah, suppose so.
Sides, you saw what he was like when the Jovians made a push for Mars. Right pissed that someone had started a war without him he was.
Target test 2. Fire.
Wouldn't that be gunnery?
Test 2 destroyed. Beam cannon functioning perfectly.
So back to Schleck. You were saying that he wants to start a war?
No, he doesn't. That's the entire point. He doesn't reckon we're ready for war. None of the commisses do. And until they change their minds, we won't be going to war. Not if EI can help it anyway.
So what does Schleck actually do?
Plot. Scheme. Defend the interests of the Earth Alliance. Both here and out there. But mostly out there, I hear. Security's not his thing. Not like espionage.
Like spying, does he?
Crazy for it. Good thing too, if you ask me. We need more real patriots. People willing to give their all for the EA. People like Schlecht.
You got a point. Just wish he'd tell us what was going on sometimes.
Hey kid, you don't need to know. And you don't want to know. Trust me on this.
Target and test 3. Fire when ready.
Minor energy fluctuations. Remaining in acceptable limits. Test 3 destroyed. Beam cannon test complete. A complete success.
Excellent. When can we expect to arm the entire fleet with these weapons?
Depends on the type of ship, sir. Corvettes, a few months. Cruisers have a different power grid, so a little longer for them. We can integrate these beams into our new destroyers as we build them, but we may have to rebuild certain projects from the bottom up, which could take years, sir.
Very well. All right. This test is over. 4 ships, return to base.
I would not be in front of the Tereus. There we are. Directives, depart. The end. No recommendations. So, our, obviously we didn't fire any shots, so our total kills for the third arc of the campaign stand at 82 kills and 15 assists. So this was Test Fire, the epilogue to the Sol 2357 arc of the Sol A History campaign for the Freespace Port and Inferno here on Paladin Gaming. We will start the Sol 2372 arc on Monday. This is Paladin Gaming signing off.